Okay, Patters. We're finally in what I will call a production rhythm. We have the new book here, new characters. We have a couple pages already for this title, ready to go. We're shooting for 12 pages for this. This will be a free Ash Kane. Yesterday, we were working on the news reporter page and new character for Uzi Susie. But I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm just thinking this morning, like, let's work on something different. Very close and dear friend of mine. And yes, all of my friends are close and dear. But someone I go back too far with asked me for a logo. And I said, you got it. And that's it. And nothing, that's as far as the negotiation went. And that's the way I prefer to do things. And the reason for that is I'm too concerned with the work. I'm more concerned with that than anything. So I just want to get to work. I don't want to talk about fees and um, like anything else that can get in the way. And if I had like an agent to do that for me, I would. Yeah, I would have an agent, and to go to me, he would get through the agent, and the agent would negotiate. But we don't have that. In a way, I don't really want that either. I feel like people having a pipeline to talent and to not just talent, but kind of like creativity, I think is more important than anything. And social media allows that. Social media allows with the readiness of all that. So let's just get to work, and we'll do we'll worry about the details later. Cheers. Now, also the reason why we're doing the logo is I'm not sure how much time I have. We had another long grinding banger night last night. Uh, ended up at a house party in Brewery Town. That sort of night. So it wasn't too much of a house party. It was more of a uh, I have a roof, come to my roof and hang out party. So people did fade away sooner than expected, but some of those sometimes when you show up to someone's place, like those people have been drinking all day, so it's just like a collision course. But who cares? Let's just keep going. Let's make something cool, and that is it. That should always be your objective. So the point I'm getting at though is I just may have to leave suddenly and abruptly. And this logo too will have a couple different renders. It will be black and white, and it will be rendered. And the rendered one, I'm sure, is going to like just wow people. And yes, this logo too will get the Adobe Creative Suite treatment, even right down to a vector in Adobe Illustrator. So when you do logos, you can work on them in this fashion for sure. Like that's fine, but you have to eventually vectorize them. And when you vectorize them, you're going to make concessions in your line weights and some of the like I don't want to say like the subtlety of your line work. Like it's not going to be perfect. And you'll have to go in and move some of those vectors around, or nodes as they're called, and you're going to have to adjust them. And that will take time. But that's where you would just hire someone. Like hire someone to do that work. Cuz you've done the thinking, but get someone to do the grunt side of it. Like why not? Yeah, so some of this is just the right amount of ink on the brush for the stroke. Like, and that's it. Like, you kind of just let, like, everything happen on its own. Yo, troll. Yeah, troll, dude. So sorry, bud. I Yeah, I fell into almost like I had to go back and check my streams. It was like 13 days that, and a solid, I would say like 5 of those days were like 9 to 5, like all hands on deck type days where I had to, really, like, I would say within last week we did enough work for like the rest of the year. So we all put in this level of work. People from out of town came in, and we just moved enough things like forward enough. But anyway, good to see you, bud. Cheers. Got some iced coffee here. Yeah, so I did have like a solid 13-day gap, and that also collapses into the weekends sometimes. Because weekends become catch up time for some of my freelance work and other projects. And keep in mind too, I also freelance in IT. So it can just be a lot of stuff sometimes. Great to see you, buddy. How's do you care about Guardians 3? Where are you with that? It looks like it's going to come in at 116, which is still disappointing. I personally never thought I would live to see the day where 116 million was not enough for an opener. So this one's going to have to get corrected. We are going to have to correct this one. Let's see, maybe like right here. See, like right there, we're in trouble over here. And that comes from the penciling. That doesn't come from the inking. Yeah, he said it was good. Yeah, that's a little bit what I'm hearing. I've had other friends really tear into it though. Just really unhappy with some of the speed of the film. A lot of people just seem to be annoyed with the wasted Adam Warlock. Like really, they seem a little angry by that. And I don't blame them. You know, that's a character people were looking forward to. But it's hard to right. It's hard to introduce an Adam Warlock without a Thanos. Right? Like it's just like silly. It's like how do you do like what like then what's Adam Warlock then? You know, and a lot of these characters they're defined by relationships. So you like in a way you know when you take some of that equation, you eliminate some of that equation. Like what do you have? And I just think that's what frustrates some people. But people do seem happy with it. It's just more or less a matter of the actual excitement for the movie. You know, I think this is like the beginning where we just see like people call it, you know, they have terms for it like superhero fatigue or movie fatigue or sequel fatigue, and no, I just think you know people will watch superhero movies until the end of time, and I just feel like yeah, people just don't feel like that. There's no FOMO. They just don't feel like that they're missing out, and that's it. Like it's that simple. Sorry, some of this is high focus work here, troll. Yeah, to get some of these like strokes like straight and kind of like perfect. Yeah, I agree. I mean, like troll, like right, like you're versed with the gospel, right? So what was it? Adam Warlock introduced in 74, 75, I think. In what was it like Marvel premiere? I'm not 100% on that, right? Like let's look that up. Adam Warlock. I'm sorry. You know what? Yeah. 1966. Um it's like you know like that's a weird path. So 1966 he's in the cocoon, right? But then it wasn't until like 1972 Marvel premiere as Adam Warlock. And that's you know like it's not the same character. It's really not. It's like kind of saying, you know, what was it? X-Men. What issue of X-Men did Nathan Summers get born? Right? Like that should be the first appearance of Cable. Like, but it's not, right? Like no one cares about that issue. Um, so let's just take it from 1967. 1967 up to Infinity Gauntlet. So now we're dealing with 94, 90, 95, maybe 96. So that's like you know like 20 something years. And at that point, Adam Warlock, post Infinity Gauntlet, became a part of the Marvel, the permanent part of the Marvel cosmic landscape. So it's, I don't know. I just don't like. There's a side of me that's like, oh, like they're not going to figure things out better than what the comics did, as of what works and what doesn't. And again, like it doesn't mean that there can't be like adjustments or changes and variations. but it just doesn't seem to work when they kind of do when they try and get cute about things. But Adam Warlock should not be a wasted character. He's too important because he really is the opposite of Thanos. Cheers. Dude, Blade movie is shut down, I think, right? The writer's strike. Dude, the writer's strike got Blade. Dude, I was just watching Blood Pack the other day too. Dude, Blade 2 is it's such an underrated movie. And I love the soundtrack, dude. The soundtrack for Blade 2 is so freaking legit. And it's kind of funny where uh Blade was one thing, right? And really like the 90s again like reformed that character into a permanent version of that character, but they've never recaptured the coolness of that first movie. Like never. I don't like did they even get close to introducing because Blade was unknown with that movie. So like what's the closest unknown major comic book character from like a major company that they just like almost like reboot it in real time in front of your eyes. It's like I just don't think there's anything close than what they did with Blade. Like Blade is that. So here we go. Maybe this can cut in like a little bit more. Maybe. Yeah, like the big issue was to get this 6 visible. Yeah, so it doesn't look like a G, but it looks like a 6. But we are going to have yeah, I don't know if there's hope for Blade at this point. Last stop and go. But hey, the Flash, similar path. So right, so like, what do we know? See, like that's the thing. Like they will go into something like Solo, be like Solo had reshoots. They swapped directors. Too many writers. The writing was on the wall, right? But then, something like the Flash has a similar production. Like we'll say, like the production of the Flash, very similar. But all of a sudden, that's okay. Like like that's like oh, that's the process. So it's like, what is it? Like people just can't identify things sometimes. I don't think people really know what makes a movie bad when it comes to production. But Blade is in trouble, like faux show. There we go. The idea is that this logo too, with the like, we'll call this like a word mark, kind of, but this is like ornament style, designed to be separated, designed to be broken apart. Uh, and just when it comes to like the purpose of what you're presenting or producing, for example, like T-shirt, flags, stickers, you have options to fill the space. It's like some of this is like getting too thick. So it's like too thick when it's measured against the other lines. And then it's like you just have to keep like adding to it until you just get those nice flowy like pops. Yep, thank you. Yeah, that's like, see, like this should be like a little bit thicker here. I don't see enough logos that are drawn by hand today, though. I really don't. I wish I saw more. Just because I think it just adds something special. Like that's the best way to define it. Yeah, dude. Dude, I used to read Corbin. I used to buy like at flea markets. I would buy like I would have like magazines with him and all of it. You know, and he was always on my radar from the heavy metal movie. Cause his, you know, like you could kind of argue his sequence is the best in the heavy metal movie. Cause it's so again like interesting and weird. But he did some really cool, like I want to say he did a Marvel book called Thok or Tok, like Tok. That was like a caveman book. That was just like crazy, and that was for like Marvel Max. Uh, yeah, Richard Corbin. I'm planning on more like you know what else he did too? Punisher the End. I think he did Punisher the End. Again underrated. People seem to gravitate towards Richard Corbin fantasy. But his when you apply that fantasy aesthetic to some of the Marvel stuff, it just makes Marvel seem way more surreal. But let me get going. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so the Cage that I used to have that. I thought I had that hardcover. Right, Alan Alonso wrote that. That Cage mini redid the character. You know, the Hulk mini didn't do so. Like, to me, that I think that was called Banner, right? Like that was like, but that Cage is probably his best superhero work if you consider it. It's more like a crime drama. But Troll, let me get out of here. We have company. We'll pick this up another time. Some logo inking. Gotta go, guys.